Hey, folks, welcome back to W.T.F. It's me, GS, and Biraj is here with me today. Welcome back to W.T.F., the show that makes you make sense of all the chaos instead of you having to scroll through 10,000 tweets.
Exactly. Hello, hello. It's great to be back after a week off. We have got some top stories from the US shutdown that just won't die. From that to Trump's royal handshake in Japan, to the protests that are louder than my PC, which is about to die right now.
Yeah, I
Um,
heard it.
yeah, you can hear it?
No,
It's going
now I can't
crazy.
hear it. I can't hear it now.
Okay.
And here is what we have in store for you guys today. The US government shutdown hits week four. Trump goes to Japan. Diplomacy or vacation, you decide. Journalist detained in the US sparks a free speech outcry. US China trade deal may be happening. Gaza and Sudan crisis deepens, global alarm rising. Trump jokes about third term, but the Constitution texted, bro, no. SNAP benefits and flight delays. Nvidia, which is one of a chip maker in the U.S., made history actually by crossing 5 trillion. So we might talk a little bit about that as well. U.S. community coming together in a voluntary push. And then at the end, we will talk about local elections because I know in Ohio and in Pennsylvania, our own folks are running locally. So yeah, we'll be covering all those things.
Awesome. So shall we jump in?
Actually, before we jump in, why don't we just start with uh, what we missed? Because last week we weren't here, obviously.
Mhm.
Last week was Tihar. It was Diwali for some people who call it Diwali. It was Tihar for us. Just how was your Tihar, bro?
It was good. It was fun. Um, had too many sweets. My dentist won't be happy with me. I have an appointment coming up.
Okay, hold on.
Uh,
You said no. This is supposed to be like I think this is gonna be turned into a joke because when we went on like when we were on Dase, you said the exact same line. You're like,
oh,
I
really?
ate too many sweets. My dentist will not be happy.
I eat a lot of sweets. So what can I say?
So,
I like
so
sweets.
yeah, so I guess double cavities. Biraz has double cavities, Dosa and Tiar cavities.
I mean, that's
But
what you eat in festivals, right? It's usually sweets. A
yeah,
lot of food. Sil roti. Sil roti
yeah,
is also sweet, and
that is
sil
also
roti was
sweet.
awesome.
But if
Yeah,
anybody thinks that I'm just like making this up, go back to the episode before this one
guys,
and
don't
just
make a meme out of me, please.
yeah, just make a meme out of what do you call it?
Yeah.
Sides.
Clips. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, it
clip.
was fun. We usually within our family we play some Devsi Boiler just inside the family to keep that tradition alive for our
Yeah.
young. I have a lot of like young cousins and brothers
Mhm.
and sisters, so it was fun. It was good getting together with family, and then of course with friends we got together as well. We had some fun. Played some cards. How much did you win?
I don't think I can disclose that. That night was some
You better
category
you better
of fun.
report that to IRS though, otherwise I will report it for you.
No, no, I didn't win actually that night. So
Okay.
can we report a loss to the IRS? If so, then great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
but for me, I mean, overall, it was great too. Yeah, like you said, we played cards. I went to my cousin's place in Palmyra. We had some fun there. We also played cards there. It's just Tihar and Dose. It comes around, um, and everybody just like hangs out, has fun, and it's the same this year. I can't really express more than that. It was good. Not too much though. It was good. It was okay.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean we are in the holiday season, right? Today it's Halloween actually.
yeah.
So
T- Today is
I've got
Halloween,
yeah. I
and
think
I'm dressed up as myself.
I We should have dressed up as,
Yeah, we should
we
have.
should have
We
just, we
sucked.
actually didn't. Yeah, we need to plan this better next. All right. Today we are dressing up as ourselves.
Yep.
Next year will be someone else. But yeah, we have lots of topic to cover for you though. So let's jump in.
Yeah,
What's
for
first?
sure. So let's dive right into our first topic, the Great U.S. Shutdown Sage. Yeah, week 4 of the federal shutdown, and if you think Netflix shows drag on, try Congress, bro. They've failed 12 votes in a row to reopen the government.
Yeah, it's like after the third season, they're just making another season that nobody wants to watch, right? Just end it
And
already.
exactly,
Um,
and that happens with every show too, and it's the same thing with the government right now, bro.
yeah, and at this point, federal workers, might they might start charging people who come for the service themselves, because I feel bad for them. A lot of them are still working, doing their job so well. Like, look at
Yeah,
for traffic controllers, and all the essential workers, right? But it's holiday season, holidays are coming up, uh, it's time that we spend with our family, we buy gifts, people want money, people want their paychecks, and it's not coming.
yeah,
um,
exactly. And then, and I think according to the polls, American people are blaming everybody now. I mean, at some point, they need to figure it out. Like it's like watching toddlers, like they need to, like, both side needs to come together. And I know there's like passionate things on both sides, and we've talked about this extensively before too. But at this point, it's on track to become the longest, federal
shut
shutdown. And above all, like you said, I feel bad for the federal workers, man. Like, they need to get paid. And this is another topic we might talk about later on, about like traffic controllers, and flights being delayed and things like that. I mean, it impacts like the most essential way of travel, which is, flights. I mean, people fly every day,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and the bottom line is that paychecks are paused, flights are delayed, SNAP benefits will be could end by tomorrow, November 1st, and they're saying, the current White House administration is saying that they're not going to pay SNAP benefits anymore, and there are states that are filing lawsuits, and I believe one of the courts did order them to pay. But this is fresh news that we are just hearing about now. um, yeah, it's getting ridiculous. At this point, I think both sides need to sit down together, and come up with a solution, because this is chaos. And if chaos were a sport, Washington would have made a home field advantage. Would have a home field advantage right now.
Yeah, 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 for sure. And that's good. You just pull that out of nowhere, bro. That was good. I don't think I can top that analogy, but I mean, we've talked about the shutdown in 3 consecutive episodes. The consensus here with Biraj and me, I think, is the same. Yeah, I mean, I just hope people find the spine to kind of, come together, compromise wherever compromise is needed, and make, reopen the government. Yeah, with that being said, I think, we don't have to dwell on this topic for too long. We could probably move on to our next topic. What's our next thing, bro?
Yeah, so Trump, he made his first Asia visit of his new term in Japan, and there have been questions about whether it was diplomacy or just a detour, another distraction, right? Um, he met with Emperor Naruhito, bowed once, waved twice, and then announced billions in trade deals. But to be honest, I don't think he knows how many commas there are in a billion, or for any given number. To be honest.
Yeah, true. And the Japan's new PM promised like to boast U.S. imports. I guess that translates to more soybeans, I suppose. I mean, I know soybean farmers have, been impacted by all this trade war. That actually started, honestly, from Trump's first term. Actually, I can dive more deep into that. So what I read on was that in the first term, Trump was trying to like bully China into like a what do you call it, a tariff thing, right?
Mhm.
um and then during that like tariff war in the first term, China like pretty much cut down on like imports. And then later on in the first term, they started the imports back up again, but then they significantly reduced the amount of soybean imports. And then
Mhm.
now it's like I think they're taking imports from Venezuela now, right? If I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
from Argentina,
Oh,
and
sorry.
that's the fun part because Trump
Yeah,
recently passed a bailout for Argentina,
exactly. So
for billions of dollars.
right.
So
So there's
he is
a bailout.
bailing out. He's bailing
Uh-huh.
out another country, um, so that at the same time putting on all these tariffs. So American farmers neither get the aid, and they're losing the customers to another country, to a competitor. So
Exactly.
how
And
is that how is that, bringing more dollars into American economy?
exactly.
Just
And then
doesn't make sense.
that competitor country is
Mhm.
being bailed out too. I don't know if you
Yes.
just said that, but
Yeah. But,
where is my
you
line?
know, yeah.
Yeah.
Trump said that, with the deal and the tariff that you just explained, and revoking that with Japan, he says that, this proves America's open for business, which is ironic because the at least the government back home is closed. And then, like we just said, right, American farmers are
Mhm.
being hurt because of this bailout and all the tariffs.
No, exactly. And then he also hinted that he might swing to North Korea and see King Jong Un. Man, like he's done that before. And I guess in his
Yeah,
mind, nothing says productive trip, like dropping and dropping
yeah.
by and saying
Just
hello to a dictator.
go to the border, jump across the line, shake a hand, and then
Shake
announce
hands.
North Korea is now the greatest democracy in the world.
Exactly, exactly.
That's Trump style, right?
Right, right. And
Yeah.
and and that's like that's what he tries to do. Like I feel like, I mean, we've talked about this probably too. It's like he's the greatest showman on earth.
He
I mean,
over exaggerates everything.
everything. And for him, everything is just how people perceive him to be a strongman, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, he hinted it. I don't think he did it though. But for him, it's just
He
like,
didn't do it this time. He had to come back home to, give out Halloween candies, which I guess at least that part is nice, you
yeah,
know.
at least that part is nice. The kids tell their parents to like, prep them up with like different costumes and things like that to go to the White House. And then the president is not there, right? Nobody's
Yeah.
home, knock knock. So
Yeah.
at least that part is nice, that he's coming back, I guess, to hand out candies and not meeting up with a dictator. So
Yep.
kudos
Speaking of
to
dictator, right? Um, this conservative nationalist policies and agenda, this whole, it seems to be, rising up in a lot of countries, not just in the United States, but across Europe, Asia, Africa. I think recently there was something about a British journalist, right?
Yeah, a British journalist was detained by ICE. This British journalist had come to the States for a speaking tour, actually. And he was detained for something he said about the Middle East. Just, and then people are outraged because that could be seen, a detention of a journalist could be seen as violation of free press, freedom of speech. um so
It
yeah,
sounds like
that's
it.
essentially what that is about. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like an attack on, free press. I mean, we have seen that right this year, um, passes of White House correspondents, White House journalists have been revoked on baseless claims,
Right.
and stuff like this has been happening too
Yeah.
frequently, and it's something to be concerned about for all of us. Um, I believe this journalist spoke, as you said, about against Middle East. He was probably speaking against the war crimes happening in Gaza and Palestine. We need to stop arresting people over speaking against the Israeli government, and a lot of the government officials who give these orders are on Apex money. So
Exactly.
I feel like they're the ones, who are orchestrating all of this.
Yeah, and when it comes to freedom of speech, I mean, I know like this administration used to pride itself on freedom of speech and being able to say and express yourself to the fullest. But like you said, as you mentioned, they barred AP one time from coming into the press pool. They barred other news outlets as well, and then uh, and also I don't know if you've heard about I think major news outlets are were thrown out of Pentagon's
Yep,
press pool
Pentagon.
because they wouldn't sign a document that said like they were like, you are only allowed to report on what is officially passed on.
Yeah,
So
it was basically, you report on what we tell you, but you
yeah,
cannot do your job. You cannot go and investigate things on your own, and whatever you find, you cannot release that information. They're basically telling
exactly.
them, don't do your job. Just sit there. We'll feed you information. Just present that.
Right. So how is that any different from state-run media in authoritarian regimes, right? Like it's
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
it's
not
not.
going to directly say it's like absolutely like that, but it's getting to that point. I mean, what
Yeah,
else is there to do if you're going to feed if you're only allowed to report on stuff that somebody feeds you from above, then that's exactly what happens in authoritarian regimes.
yeah, and it's not just the government cracking down, but look at all of our big social media apps and news outlets. They're all owned by uh, the row of billionaires who are sitting behind the president during the inauguration, right?
Exactly.
Facebook, Instagram, owned by Meta, um, WhatsApp as well, right? Bloomberg is owned by Bloomberg, and then Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos.
Those, yeah.
Um, yeah, if we don't pay attention to these things and raise our voices, we may not be able to raise our voice anywhere pretty soon.
No, exactly, and that's the point, right? Like freedom is we call it around the world democracy called media the fourth pillar of democracy, and if that is not preserved and people are not allowed to voice their opinions in a public forum, and let their views be known, then democracy itself declines. So yeah, I mean, these kind of topics, bro, like I'm honestly saying, like it takes like we could probably do a whole session on
Hmm.
um because it is such an important topic.
Yeah,
But I guess for now, like, yeah, I mean, that guy, the British guy, yeah, got detained, shouldn't have happened. And it shouldn't happen to anybody, honestly, just for speaking.
yeah.
And
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 if
yeah.
you're doing the right thing, if you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't be afraid of press. You shouldn't be afraid of free speech, right?
Right.
If someone is
Right.
lying, if someone is giving out false information, you can fight them other ways,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I concur. I guess with that I guess with that being said, we can move on because this tends to get longer and
Yeah.
longer.
Yes. So we have a lot of topics, but I want to turn our attention to something that will be affecting a lot of lives starting tomorrow, and that is SNAP benefits and from the shutdown effects. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, or some of us might also know it as food stamps, is experiencing delays. There has been discussion, or the White House administration has said that they will not pay SNAP, but a lawsuit brought up by several states' governors has now challenged that decision, and I believe the court has handed down a decision saying they must pay. Um, and this delay in benefit distribution due to the federal government being shut down is going to start affecting a lot of lives starting tomorrow, November 1st.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, these disruptions essentially, affect mostly low-income families, low-income families' access to food. Um, and honestly, I mean, if you even for if I have to reflect on something like this, right? Coming to the States 2008 with my parents, me and my siblings were on like what 18, under 18,
Mhm.
sorry. And we also were recipients of the SNAP program during that time because my parents, didn't earn enough and we were below the poverty line. So that SNAP program, or some people might know it as food stamp, um helped like me, my sister, and my brother eat for almost a year and a half, before my dad could actually start earning money, after doing a bunch of training and actually getting a job. So think about it, right? Like that kind of program not being there, and then I'm just putting myself in that position at that time, and if that fund or government shutdown had happened, and for a month after we arrived in the States, we didn't get to eat. That's not any different from like what kind of what would have happened in Nepal. At least in Nepal, in the refugee camp, we were at least fed, um but
Yeah, I
but
mean
again,
it's a crucial safety net, right? It's not,
exactly.
we are not, nobody is getting free money, right? And most of the recipients of this program are children and senior citizens and people with disabilities, um, and those who have limited incomes, right? They are still, even though they are hard workers, they work, they have a job. It's difficult with inflation and everything that's going on. It's difficult for people to get access to nutritious food, right? Just food
Yeah,
is not enough. um,
exactly.
if you're like me, when I'm hungry, you could pretty much eat anything you find, but that's not good, right? Our
Yeah, yeah,
body needs, everyone should have access to healthy food, nutritious food. It's important to reduce hunger, right? Good food
exactly.
helps with
Mhm,
development for children,
mhm.
has direct proportional correlation to education, how a person, or does
Develop.
in
Yeah,
other parts of their life, right?
right, right.
So it's a safety net, and they're trying to take it away.
Yeah, and like earlier when I started to mention my like personal story about how Snap was there, or food stamp was there for me, I kind of couldn't piece it together. But you did a great job of kind of laying out like how it affects different people in different stages, like especially kids. And I like that, like what you said is like it's not just food; it's nutritious food, right? Like you can go to
Right.
McDonald's and get cheap food, um, but
I don't,
like
yeah,
having
I don't think McDonald takes food stamps even, right? So you can't even get that.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. I don't think they accept that. But like any
Yeah,
store, you can go to any store, like a grocery store that accepts EBT, or and get like cheap food. But we're talking about nutritious food. I mean, it's called nutrition supplement program too for a reason.
yeah,
um and yeah, I mean, especially kids, this affects the kids the most. And one thing I do want to mention to our like viewers, if you are watching, like a lot of the times national debates around these type of benefits center around people who are living in inner cities, and or people who are just leeching off the system. But a lot of rural area population, especially in the southern belt of the United States, like get a huge chunk of this benefit as well. I mean, it's not just rural or African American or immigrants or any other sparse population that is actually getting this benefit. It's actually everybody in the United States who cannot make it, like who are below the poverty line, who get this benefit.
Yeah,
And like
and
Biraj said, it's
multiple research from bipartisan organizations have shown that the claims about the system being abused is false. Right there, of course, in any system there will be some people trying to take advantage of it, trying to abuse the system, but the percentage of that is very minimal, right?
yeah.
And so because of that small percentage of people, it shouldn't affect the larger population who who need this benefit to survive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said, any system has flaws, but instead of fixing the flaws and kind of, uh, you know, kind of like fixing where the issues are, we're at a stage where the program itself is
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
it's like my childhood when my sister if my sister did something bad, both her and I would get punished by our
yeah,
parents. You
yeah,
can't do
okay.
that, right?
Yeah, that is a good
um,
analogy. Yeah.
yeah,
So
but
generalizing, like the whole population isn't obviously leeching off the system,
right.
and Biraj didn't actually cause a scene. It was his sister.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Mom, are you hearing that?
and now and now she is gonna ban me for life.
But jokes aside, for those who need help, who might lose the benefit and might struggle to find food, there are food banks that are being set up in various communities. I saw a couple of them, that were already active in Lower Paxton Township, where I live, and I saw some posts circulating about them having some extra resources to help people. So,
Mhm.
please do find food pantries near you. Um, you know, and there are a lot of us, right? We all want to help each other, and for those of us who are in a doing well and we don't need these benefits anymore, please do think about contributing and helping those in need.
About helping people, let's talk about some good and positive news. A coffee shop actually in Portland, Oregon, raised over $87,000 to support individuals who are losing their SNAP benefits.
Wow,
That is something that I read today, and that sounds great, man.
awesome.
Yeah, and also,
Kentucky Teacher of the
oh,
Year created
oh yeah,
a prosthetic hand for a student using school's 3D printing lab. Isn't that amazing? Like that's a good use of
yeah,
school budget
3D print.
and also learning a good lesson for students.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, using the 3D printer itself for something good is always great. Like I know people use 3D printers for all type of nonsense, like creating fake guns and stuff. So
Yeah.
that is a positive news. And also, I think I've also read that around 120 volunteers in somewhere in Michigan joined forces for a huge community service push. They were landscaping, they were painting, they were distributing food, and they even added, like, I believe $12,000 worth of money to local nonprofits. So
Oh,
yeah, all around a couple of good news. It's always good to
that's
hear good news.
That's awesome. And one more positive news is, our local Central Pennsylvania nonprofit, Asian Refugees United, with their student volunteers, were able to go door knocking at close
Ooh,
to approximately 200 houses in Central
nice.
Pennsylvania, getting people registered, reminding them about the local elections and the importance of it. So huge applaud to them.
Yeah, huge shout out to ARU. I know it's gonna become a tradition, and it actually has. And then in every episode, we somehow touch back to ARU because they do such a great job. Yeah, the canvassing folks, and Biraj is also one of the people who goes out canvassing. I haven't done it as much as I would like to this year, but yeah, they are doing a
We'll
great
get you
job.
out there soon.
We will try. If you guys call me when there's an Eagles game, then I won't come out. But otherwise, on the weekends, I feel free. And actually, sadly, today this episode, we're not gonna talk about the Eagles because it's bye week. But I just
Yeah,
did talk about the Eagles by saying I'm not gonna talk about the Eagles.
you
So
did.
every
You did.
episode
That
there
was
will be an
clever.
Eagles.
That
Yeah.
was clever.
But also to just go to another topic. I just wanted to briefly mention, I don't know, a lot of our viewers would be into stocks or not, but something that did happen this week, in trending, Nvidia, one of the chip makers in the US, which is powering AI. They are the backbone of everything that's happening around AI. They have the GPUs that process all the different tokens that are being generated by a bunch of people, including me, because I've been using Sora. That was a mouthful. Um, they crossed $5 trillion in market cap, which has never been done before. A U.S.
Wow.
company, kind of crossing over $5 trillion. That is more than a lot of countries' GDP. I think I know for a fact that that is larger than India's GDP. That is probably larger than Britain's GDP. So yeah, it is a big milestone for that company, and nonetheless, it's an American company. Exceptionalism is still in the U.S. So yeah,
That's
crazy. But
that's cool. You know, is it just a hype, or is the Chip King really unstoppable though? Because I have been hearing about other competitors entering the picture as well.
I kind of I when as soon as you said that, I kind of thought about, do I want to have this debate right now, or even the discussion, because disclosure, I do invest a little bit in Nvidia, so I do follow up on it. Um, yeah, there are concerns that there might be a hype. There are other concerns that big spenders like Meta, all the tech giants, right? They are called hyperscalers, and they are the ones that are actually funneling all this money into all these data centers that are technically making Nvidia what it is today. But I think that if you look at Nvidia's portfolio, if you look at Nvidia's like what Nvidia is investing in all these new companies, like they're not just making chips. They're actually a full stack company. They have software that runs on top of those chips that make AI production. It actually accelerates it, and there is no other company that does it like them. And they're into automotive, they're into robotics. Those are all futuristic things, right? And they're also going through the motions of convincing countries to make their own sovereign
Hmm.
AI, which is
Right.
data domain specific sovereign AI. So I can go on and on. Nvidia is like
Yeah,
my
it's a deep topic,
yeah.
but for now, the at least for investors, it's a positive news. I would
Yeah.
say the future is green, powered by graphic cards, but I'm not sure everyone would agree because there is also environmental impacts to consider with AI and cards. But I know that's a hot topic, and we are out of time for today. But I'm sure we'll
We are out of
dive
topic.
deep.
Sorry, we are out of time. But I swear, when you just said that, and I think
Yeah.
I've told you, I don't know if I was having a conversation with you or somebody else. But what I did say was, every time I create something with AI, I remember that it's burning a bunch of energy that is useless, right? Like, I'm doing something useless and it's burning energy. So that is always going to
Yeah.
be out there.
So you and I are gonna have a fight about that in
Yeah,
one of our future episodes, but
for
let's
sure.
save the energy for that.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for today, right?
No, actually, we were gonna talk about local elections, I
Oh,
think.
right. Almost forgot.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, and it could be brief. Before we go, I just want to mention that local elections are November 4th. So
this
please,
Tuesday.
yeah, this Tuesday, November 4th, people should go out and vote and make their vote count. Just contextually, there are two folks I think within the Bhutanese community that are running, one in Reynoldsburg and one in Harrisburg. They're both running for city council, and then here it's called the commissioner uh, positions. So, what do you think, Biraj? I just want to briefly talk about like all the different endorsements that I've been seeing on Facebook, people posting on
Yeah.
both sides of the
W-
aisle.
Yeah, it's been a hot topic. If you are a Bhutanese Nepali community member and you have some friends on Facebook, you must have seen posts, especially from Ohio and also from Harrisburg, about party lines and all that. Personally, I don't have a strong opinion on the issue about parties, right? Well, first of all, neither candidates fall in like my area or my township, so I don't have to vote for them. But you know, for local elections, I think it's the issues that matter the most. Um, but I think it's because right now, right, we get news or national level, federal level, global level news much faster and much easier than our local level news. Like a lot of people are not actually aware of what's going on in their local community,
Hmm.
but they have more knowledge about what's going on at the federal level, and I think that is boiling up these divisions in our local elections as well. um, at the end of the day, right, nobody should be voting for parties. We should be voting for candidates who are eligible, who are right, who can speak for their community, for their constituents, and fight for the causes that matter to their constituents. So if you feel the person is right, if you feel the person will um, talk about or raise your concerns in larger government levels, and try to find solutions for you, try to find um, make improvements, make your life better, then vote for them, right? The party line doesn't have to stop you from voting one way or the other. But I think it's because of the national news and the polarization of politics in America that parties and becoming a member of a certain party has become a much bigger issue. We have to
Right.
keep in mind that Republicans or Democrats, right? They both have been on both sides of the aisles. I mean, Abraham Lincoln was the one who freed, who abolished slavery, and he was a Republican, right?
Hmm.
We have had Republican presidents who have signed laws that, are towards pro-immigrants, right? They have signed progressive laws, and also similarly on the Democrat side, they have been on the opposite side of the aisle too. So again, I personally feel that it's all about the candidate and whether they are the right person, um, and what kind of ideologies they're backing up, what their goals are. That's what should matter. Um, a Democrat who is not going to work for you is not the right candidate. A Republican who is not going to work for you is also not the right candidate.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much, I think, you know, covered a lot there. But just to echo some of the things that you said, I mean, because of national politics, I feel like a lot of the division within our community is coming from that for sure. And I'm also like kind of glad that all of this is happening. The fact that I've seen a lot of people kind of give their opinions on Facebook. I don't think I've seen as many people say anything political, even in
It's
general
great.
election.
We're getting much more participation now, right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that portion makes me happy. I'm not gonna judge at this point on like the merits of what they're saying or anything, because the fact that we're at least participating is good. And tomorrow's debate, it will be tomorrow's debate, right? We can have partisan debates. But like you said, I don't live in the jurisdiction of where these folks are also running from. I echo the same thing. I echo that it's much more about policy rather than party. But the current climate, given that, I'm gonna be a little bit more aggressive in saying that choosing a party also, you kind of get attached to that baggage, um, and that baggage is there, especially for our community. That
Yeah,
baggage is there,
I
and
think that's a great way to put it. You know, it's
yeah.
baggage from national level politics.
Exactly. That, yeah, it's a baggage from national level politics, and I wish the candidates that have that baggage from the national level politics could, so, at least come to the front and be like, I'm not a part of that, or I
Yeah,
don't believe in that. Kind of differentiate themselves from the mainstream, and they haven't. I
that's
mean, I
another
haven't.
great point.
Yeah, yeah, and I haven't seen that. So
Hmm.
I wish that happened, and that, I think that would have been something that would have been uniting, because especially with some of the topics that divide our community, right? I don't care about like the other stuff, that is coming down the national pipeline, but especially the things that are dividing our community. If those baggages were addressed, none of this, Facebook posts were necessary.
Yeah,
uh,
regardless of the party, right? We know that
like,
the the approach, the ideologies that the current federal administration is taking is wrong. It's not, it's not good for our community. It's not pro immigrants. It's,
mhm,
there are lots of problems with it, and regardless of party affiliation, if they can just come out and say, they disagree with that, then yeah, I think it would resolve the all this, discussions, heated
yeah.
discussions, I should add.
Yeah, for sure. And we're kind of coming to time. So, yeah, everybody go vote. That is all we have to say in that topic. I believe we can always have deeper discussions. In the future, we'll have other people and folks join. We are very much interested in talking politics or evolution or religion. Doesn't really matter. Keep supporting us. WTF, Pigeon Feather Studios, Biraj, and GS. Um, have a good weekend. What else you gotta say,
Happy
bro?
Halloween. Have a
Happy
great
Halloween.
weekend. Please go vote.
Yes, go vote
All right.
Tuesday. All
Good
right,
night.
see you. Night night.